Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and this is for the 2006 film See No Evil. I figured since Nice Dining Rogers sent me the DVD of the second film, why not review the first film? And I already had this because I actually like this film. I think this is a decent, fun slasher movie. I think it goes by a fast pace. Without the end credits, it's only an hour and 17 minutes. I definitely like this more than the first film, and you'll hear me talk about the second film after this. But I actually did that review rant first because I did not like the second film. I thought it was very boring. Like the directing was nothing to it. The pacing was slow. The kills were rather lame. This film left no sequel bait ending if I learn how to talk, because he dies, he falls to the ground, and the fucking rib cage pops through his heart. And I made a stupid mistake in that one. I said that like even a rat pissed in his eye socket. It wasn't a rat; it was a dog. But it's not really something you decide to remember and put in your memory banks. But he was dead as a doornail, and then the second film, he's just alive because this is that was a sequel that was 8 years later made after this. I mean, a sequel that no one asked for. But anyway. I talked about that in that review. But this one, directed by Gregory Dark, which I know he did music videos. I'm not sure, he might have done porn, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because I think he made a fun, decent slasher film. I mean, the characters, like the second film, aren't much, but this one I got a little bit more into, mainly because the situation they were in. And the fact that it was juvenile delinquents who make a deal. They pretty much, here's the deal: either you help clean up this abandoned hotel that there was a fire long ago, or you stay in juvie. And these juvenile delinquents, of course, take the job. And I like that idea. It was more interesting than the sequel, where it's just, here's some people work at a morgue, and that's it. That's really all there is to it. And the directing in the second film was very boring, very not much to it. But this one, granted, the director had done music videos. He has that music video vibe. But I thought it actually helped in this film, some of the cuts and some of the ways stuff is filmed. I thought, because I thought it kept the movie energetic. I thought it kept the movie going. Certain camera angles, like a camera would be tilted a little bit slightly, or certain amount of editing. Like you see background of Kane, of course Kane, Glenn Jacobs from WWE. And like the first time he's revealed, it's behind a character as the elevators open. You see Kane in the background. Like, I mean, little shots like that. I thought the director, I'm not sure what else Gregory Dark has done, but I thought he did a pretty decent job with this film. And it shows through visuals the backstory of Kane. And it shows little bits and pieces, so it doesn't take like 20, 30 minutes for any just to show that and then get into the movie. But you did enough that he was a kid and he was stripped naked, left in a cage by his mom, who was very religious. And I thought this had stuff going for it that the sequel neglected. Like, for example, Kane, this character. First off, like I said, I like the setup better. This juvenile, it's a cop who had dealt with Kane's character, which I'll get into, but now it's years later, and he's working with these juvenile delinquents, clean up this, again, this abandoned hotel that there was a fire. I like the location that they used and the setup better than just, again, morgue attendants in the second film. And even the first film, stuff like, you would hear this little rhyme chorus song, like, all the children of the world. Da, na, 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 da, 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 na, 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 na. None of that was in the sequel. Or even Kane, he has this thing where when he kills his victims, he plucks their eyeballs out. Hence the title, See No Evil. I don't remember any of that in the sequel. And I don't think, I forgot to mention that, but him plucking eyeballs out, that's not in the sequel for some reason. And that little chorus, nothing in the sequel. And then also, Kane only has one little bit of dialogue, one line of dialogue. And the sequel, for some reason, they had him talk more. I don't know why. And Kane just seemed scarier in this film than he did in the second film. The second film, he really wasn't. Of course, he had that stupid mask on that's used for burn victims and such. But I thought the film, from the get-go, yeah, like I said, the music video background showed, the visuals of the little backstory of Kane, in this rundown trailer, cops come, and then, a cop turns, he goes, what the? And then boom, an axe just comes and hits the guy right in the fucking face. And then there's another cop, he gets his fucking arm chopped off. He shoots Kane, Kane gets away, he has his arm chopped off, he looks and there's a female victim, her eyes are gone. And it goes into, and that's how the film starts. Boom, right from the get-go. I'm like, shit, right from the get-go, you have something like that, which is like, oh shit, this cop's arm got cut off, and another, boom, like, fuck you, Ryan, with an axe. And again, finding this woman that's still alive but has no eyes. And the sequel, I swear, it took like 30 minutes for anything to happen. Just for some reason he's alive, which again, this had no sequel bait ending. He was fucking dead as a doornail. But hey, what do I know? And actually, that cop, years later, he has like a fake arm. And he's working, like I said, he's working with his juvenile delinquents at this abandoned hotel. And I will admit, the characters aren't much, although the characters in the second film aren't much either. I mean, I didn't mind Daniel Harris in the second film, but that's not nearly enough to save the movie. But you have a couple people. I thought they did a little bit of decent stuff. Like, for example, you had a girl, and then you had this guy who seemed like a dick, and he was the one who got her arrested along with him. So he's a dickhead. But through his actions, he does some decent things. So you have a teeny bit of an arc. Even that teeny bit, I can say, is more than anybody in the sequel. But I mean, granted, the characters aren't much. But I thought the film went at a fast pace. I thought it was visually interesting. Again, cameras tilted like this, or some of the editing I thought actually worked for this film. Sometimes it could be a hindrance or annoying or irritating, but here I thought it kept the movie going, and it made sense where the director said he wanted to have the movie not stop. He wanted to have the movie go at a good pace. I thought he did a decent job with that. I thought this little touches I liked. For example, when Kane's walking and someone's under, you see the dust falling from the ceiling. And you don't get much with the characters. I mean, you have two of them that they talk about this safe that they've heard has been hidden here, and they want to go find it. Sort of our main girl. The cops talk about how he knows why you attacked your stepfather. You got a shitty deal. Then, like I said, you have this asshole, and then this girl that had gotten arrested because of him. And then you have this girl who's a vegan. But again, I thought the film went at a fast enough pace. Okay, these characters aren't really the most likable. Like, I did say in Friday the 13th films and Nightmare on Elm Street films, and even stuff like Halloween 4, like Ellie Cornell, there are more likable characters. But I thought at least this went at a fast enough pace. I like the location. I thought Kane in this film is an intimidating villain. They're gonna be 7 foot tall. Only has one line of dialogue near the end of the film, the third act, which I thought was the right choice. But I mean, even the kills in the second film are very lame. It's like either cutaways or something like that. Except maybe like one girl who gets cut here. and another who gets, anyway, I talked about in the other review. But this one, I like that, again, the kid's looking here and the elevator opens up and there's Kane and he throws a chain and just yanks the guy and he's struggling. He picks the guy up and slams him against the wall and pulls him in. There's another girl where he grabs her in the elevator, slams her right to the top of the elevator, and there's fucking brain matter left on the ceiling of the elevator and slams her down. Again, he likes to pluck the eyes out of his victim, which is something they did not have in the second film, which I don't really get, because that was sort of his motif. Because he made like a collection of eyeballs in these jars. And pretty quickly the characters find out what's going on. Like they see the brain matter on top of the fucking elevator. The cop gets a fucking hook under his neck and pulled up. Thought that was a good kill. The vegan girl, she's being lowered down, and then she's being pulled up by Kane, and she's like, "Let me go," so he lets her go, and when she kind of hits the ground and goes back, but when she hits the ground, her fucking arm snaps. Nice makeup effect. And then she's kind of hung there, and then this dog that she had treated nicely before, and because she's a vegan, so you have this sort of ironic death that she gets eaten. She's a vegan, but she gets eaten by the dogs. And I thought that was kind of an interesting death, the way that was done. That was a little bit interesting death. There's another girl who is always stealing shit and actually stole this phone, and the phone gives her away. So Kane actually shoves the phone down her throat. That's what I mean. Like, this had some little bit inventive, interesting kills, while the second film had nothing. Which I don't get what the praise for those directors' sisters are. But there's just nothing to the movie. Here, at least the kills were interesting, fun, a little bit vicious. The villain was more intimidating. Didn't have that stupid fucking mask like in the first film. And again, Kane can move. I mean, he's cutting through the fucking elevator. This asshole, I start to like him through his actions. Like, there's one girl he shoves out a way so that Kane doesn't get her, and hits Kane, then Kane slams her right into this mirror that he bounces off of. Like, ooh, that must have hurt. So I like some of the way the shots in this scene is photographed as well. And the pace definitely keeps going. But again, I only like the characters through their actions, not really through their characters. At least it's something. Like this one guy, he becomes a distraction so that they can get this girl out of the cage. And the reason I thought this worked better than the Friday the 13th remake, I'll say that. Although I would say I probably like the Friday the 13th 2009 movie better than this. But I would say I like that better than this. But this, I thought the killer keeping a woman worked better because he's been, since he was a kid, talked about religion. He had seen this girl in the shower, and she had like this tattoo of a cross on her, so that made him think of religion. Oh, this is a girl I need to keep and not kill. But it's done with visuals, not with words, and it didn't need words. But one girl's trying to save her, the other guy tries to distract Kane, and he gets killed by the safe. Probably the weakest kill in the movie, because pretty much just a safe being pressed against him, but I'll give you, it's one. At least there's another guy that you don't really see him die, but at least he does pluck the eyeball out, so that's something. I would say this is a gorier movie than the second film, and I thought it was interesting. Okay, he's the asshole guy, and he's not really likable. He's not meant to be likable, but he does some actual decent things. He puts up more of a fight than anyone in the second movie. Like, Kane has these two people ready to kill. Actually, before that, you had the mom character who comes in, because there was this old lady that we had seen earlier in the film. And I think if you know horror films, you can guess who she is. You can very easily guess who that's going to be. But even the kill of the mom was pretty cool, I thought. He throws her ass, and she slams into the wall, and this thing goes right through her eye. And that's where he has his one line going like "I see" or "I see it," "I see it," and throws her ass and impales her eye. Thought that was a cool kill. But yeah, no, he's attacking these two girls, but the guy comes back and beats the shit out of him. Even slams in the back of his head, and there's like maggots that come out, which is a little bit weird. And beats the shit out of him, and then the three of them are beating the shit out of him, push him through the window. He grabs them. I think she goes something like, tells him to fuck off, and stabs him in the eye with a pipe. And granted, his fall is a bit too CGI, you could tell, but I like the idea that when he falls through the atrium, the pipe catches, and he goes off, and the pipe lets go, and he slams all the way down. And I like the idea that this did not have a sequel bait ending. It ended. He slams, you see a close-up that the bones went through his heart, and you see that the rib cage like went through his chest because of the fall. And then I think actually in the second one I fucked up. I said that it ends and then a little bit of credits. Then you have an after credit scene or mid credit scene. I didn't know if it was a rat or something that pissed in his eye socket, but it was like a dog. But like I said, it's not something I keep in my memory banks on that. So I fucked up on that. But, I mean, I like the idea that there's no sequel bait ending. I thought Kane was, in this film, an intimidating villain who moved very well. I thought that, I liked the location, this abandoned hotel, that there was a fire. I liked the fact it was juvenile delinquents. I thought some of the kills, I mean, a phone down a person's throat, or, uh, that sort of stuff. The hook against under the neck. I thought it was actually some fun kills. It's a short film. It's only an hour and 17 minutes without the end credits, so it doesn't go by too. It goes by pretty quick. I thought King did fine. He's definitely a scary-looking motherfucker. Definitely has a lot of features. Has two commentary tracks, one with the writer-director and the other with Kane and the co-executive producer. Couple making-of featurettes, promotional spots, trailers. So definitely packed. No, I think this film did okay at the box office. I could very much be wrong. But yeah, this is a film that didn't need a sequel. It ended, and then they did a shitty sequel that made no fucking sense and was not good at all, which you hear about. Like I said, they even neglected shit like him plucking eyeballs and stuff. They neglect that in the sequel, and how he's alive when all the bones went through his fucking heart. No explanation. Just say, oh, just fuck it. They act like no one has seen... The sequel acts like no one has seen this movie, weirdly enough. But this, I thought, it wasn't that boring. It wasn't... I thought it was better directed. I thought the director using... Okay, music video doesn't always help, having a background. But this, I thought it worked. I thought it kept a little bit of an energetic pace to it. Either cuts or little angles of shots or getting little flashbacks of his background, but not going on it too long that it gets boring or tedious. I like the location. So there's a lot I liked about the film. Again, problems, the cast do their jobs, but it's not really good characters. Of course, I know you're saying, what's the slasher? But I think Amy Steele in Friday the 13th Part 2, and Alice from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and Heather Langenkamp. Lisa Wilcox is Alice in Part 4. Heather Langenkamp in the first, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You can have good characters in slasher movies, but these were just, they were there. I probably liked them a little bit more than the second film just because of the situation that they were in and some of the actions that they were able to fight back. I think that was another thing, is that's, at least in the final act, they actually fought back against Kane, while in the sequel, they just seem like, oh, Victimir. So made me dislike them more and like these characters a bit more, because at least that one guy was fighting Kane, beating him up, and the three of them beat Kane up. At least they will fight back, at least by the end of it. At least that's something. Give me something. Sequel gave me nothing. Except Daniel Harris wasn't bad, but anyway. That's See No Evil. I like the film. I think it's actually a pretty decent slasher movie, at least in my opinion. I think the sequel is very lame, boring, and cheap, with pretty boring kills. The sequel, that is, but that's just my opinion. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for my rant on the sequel later.